Hello everybody and welcome to X4, and if this is your first time playing it then you have come to the right video. I'm going to get you started on how to play X4 and some of the things to avoid, and it may be a little bit overwhelming especially if you bought like the Planets edition or even the Foundation edition and then got some of the DLCs. You might be thinking where to start, how to start and what to do, and today I'm going to hopefully answer some of them questions for you. So the first thing, I'm going to get straight into this and hopefully not waste your time too much, but basically if you've got all of the DLCs and you have unlocked all of the gameplay, if you've already played it and you know, or you've seen other people playing it, then this is the screen you will see. And you're probably on the wrong video because this is about how to start in X4. However, some of these may not be available to you. My screen is very different because obviously I've played it. I've got over 4,000 hours in the game already. It is a single player game, so there is a little bit of a multiplayer aspect that they're trying to introduce, but that is not in the game, and this, as far as I'm aware, will never be in a multiplayer game. It's always going to be single player, so expect to have a lot of single player content. But you're here to figure out where to start. I'm going to assume you may have all of the DLCs. If you don't, then obviously go to my base answer of the base game, which I'll include every time. So if you're starting fresh on the game and you only have the base game, then the Young Gun, is the place to start. Don't start with the tutorials, in my opinion. You can do if you want to. It will give you some explanation. They have been updated, but personally I find just jumping in the ship and kind of try to play yourself is going to be a little bit better. However, if you do want a little bit of a head start on what things do, then you can check out the 3 tutorials at the top. However, feedback from most people is they're more confusing than they are helpful, and that's where we come in to try and hopefully help you guys out getting started. So you want to start with a Young Gun. It gives you a fighter, gives you a little bit of cash, and shoves you in the middle of nowhere really, and kind of leaves you to do what you do. However, if you do have some of the DLCs, particularly the Tides of Avarice DLC, the Cradle of Humanity DLC, you want to play the Terran Cadet start. The Tides of Avarice, then you've obviously got Smuggler's Paradise. However, if you've got up to the Tides of Avarice or Kingdom's End, go back to Cradle of Humanity. So what's the difference between the Young Gun and the Terran Cadet? Well, basically the Terran Cadet's kind of got a bit of a storyline that leads you more into actually playing the game and doing certain things, and it's got a storyline to drive you into how to play. However, there's still a lot it's not going to teach you, and a lot it's going to expect you to learn yourself. So I'd still start off with the Young Gun and just throw yourself out in the middle of space and kind of get a grips to how some of the ship flies and stuff like that. Another thing you will note as well, there is special things at the bottom there. I would prefer, as a new player, not to do it myself. I would rather play something and then go into the special stuff, because they're going to have stuff in there that you're not going to really understand at first. Some of the effects that the gameplay has, some of the things that you can add into it, you're not going to know what really you're going to want in the game. So personally, I'd avoid the specials. However, the Station Design Simulator is pretty fun if you do want to just play around with station designs. If you do want to know about the specials, then make sure you do check out my video on the custom game starts, and it'll give you a little bit more detail in there if you do want to play around with a sandbox. But the whole game is pretty much a sandbox, so let's get into Young Gun, and I want to show you a few other bits and pieces you can do to start off and make yourself have a little bit of an easier time getting used to the game.
Val Selton's log, day 1. I'm excited to get underway with this new ship. I'm not entirely sure what I'll do yet. Trading, exploring. Am I brave enough to face combat? Whatever it is, I'm sure it'll be exciting. Here goes nothing.
Okay, so if you've started the game as the Young Gun, you will just have yourself on a station with no inkling to what you can do. The ship that is next to you is your ship. You'll notice there is a logo on it. It's generally this logo. That's your logo. You can change that later in the game, and the colour of the ship can also be changed. Entrance into your ship is here, and you literally just walk up to the ladder. It will also then pop up with a thing that says, the flight school has already taught you the basics of spaceflight. To learn about missions and other activities, open the tutorial and help menu with H.
Vanguard.
And select a tutorial. So if you press the H button, it will come up with an in-game tutorial. This will teach you various things on what to do. You can start the tutorial and it will give you some of the basics. For example, if you do this, it will then start giving you a mission to sit down in your chair, click on it and press F to interact. Select undock and press Shift D. So it will start to give you a tutorial. If you get bored of the tutorial, you can abort it. These tutorials are pretty good. They do give you a step-by-step guide onto what you're doing, so definitely useful to use. However, that's going to be a lot of information overload when you're trying to get yourself started. The perks of this game is there's no target or thing to do within a certain amount of time this early in the game. You've got free reign to do whatever you want to do at the start of the game and learn the ways of the universe and the ship and what you want to do. Now, in all of my tutorials and in my gameplays, I always say one thing: this is your style of gameplay. If you want to play it your way, then play it your way. There are various ways you can play. One, you can do mining, you can do personal mining, or you can have a fleet of miners that you can operate. You can have a war fleet, you can have your own warship, you can have your own capital ship. There are a couple of them in the game, however there aren't many of them. You can have your own fighters, you can have a flight squadron if you want, you can have a couple of wingmen that follow you around. You can get into the combat that way. You can sit in a chair and do all of this from a station, nice and safe. You can do trading, you can do station building, you can do absolutely anything you can think of doing in a space simulation. And you can choose whether to do it yourself or have others do it. There is levels of automation that you get later down in the line. However, at the beginning of the game, expect to do most of the things yourself, or do a click and play process where you're basically clicking each individual thing what they need to do, and they will go out and do it. And then you're going to have to click and do the next thing, click and do the next thing, and it's going to be a lot of repetition until you unlock the automation side of stuff. Automation does come, and you can enjoy it once you've learned how to play the game. Reminder, H key for the tutorial, and that will get you your basic options. However, if you do want to just get in and start pressing buttons, then I suggest undocking, which is Shift D, or you can press the button there. Most commands that have any shortcuts will come up on the menu. So if you press the enter key, and you'll see here the 9 boxes in the center of the screen. If you hover over most of them, it will give you the shortcuts. Anything with a drop down it won't, because obviously there are drop downs and they're for you to select. Same with modes. However, modes is different because you can actually shortcut key the modes. There is a shortcut key for these, and if you want to know what they are, if you go to your options, then go to your settings, then you go to your controls, you'll find all of your controls in here. You can manage your controller or joystick if you have one, HOTAS as well. However, I don't use my HOTAS anymore because I find keyboard and mouse is actually a little bit more preferable for me. If you click on one of these threes here, for example, menu navigation, it'll give you all of your options for your hotkeys, and you'll also notice there are joystick options here. So you get emulated mouse cursors, map pens, and stuff like that. That's all to do with joysticks. You have the options of joysticks or your mouse and keyboard here. Same with emulated there. Same with the holo maps. You'll also notice if there are 2 options, you get number pads and you also get the Q key there. So there's 2 options. It gives you a chance to key map 2 options if you so require, or a joystick and the keyboard. I tend to find that when I used to play with keyboard and joystick, I also enjoyed doing that as well. However, I didn't use my throttle for any of the powers. I used the keyboard and stuff like that because it was a little bit easier. So, as I mentioned, this is where to start. This is one place I would start. Get used to all of the things. Your controls, platform movement. This is how you walk around on your platform, so not inside your ship. Well, actually, it is inside your ship, but not whilst you're flying your ship. And you get your general movement, which tells you how to fly your ships as well. You'll also notice the mouse. Anything specifically mouse will be the green little mouse icon. Fire primary weapons at cursor is a mouse button, because obviously it's your middle mouse button. But there's no other secondary option because, well, if you've got a mouse cursor, then you want to be using it. You can see there's pretty much everything covered up. There are some things that don't have a key mapping. If you use them, then obviously you can. If you have a wing, you can have them have commands and stuff like that, and you can set them as your own little hotkeys or macros.
Prepare to dock.
Okay.
Requesting permission to dock. Docking permission granted.
Now, you're probably asking yourself,
Bring the ship in slowly.
what is all that noise?
Affirmative.
Whilst you're around stations, you pick up on station chatter. Because it's on an open channel, because it's like civilian channels or military channels, whatever you want to call it, or you know, simulated is, you pick up on it and you hear it. So certain things aren't related to you, but they could do like kind of give you an idea of, oh, there's a ship moving in, so I need to be careful when I'm flying into the station. Much like an airport and stuff like that. Right. So, you've learnt how your controls are, but you're still stuck here not moving. Now if you're using mouse and keyboard, if you press shift and then you press spacebar, steering mode has now been activated. That will now allow you to steer your ship with your mouse. Your Q and E keys are your roll. W lifts you up, S drops you down, A and D is your strafe. Try not to shoot or hit the station. They can become enemies to you, same with ships as well. Now, I'm going to go as if you're on mouse and keyboard. If you are using joystick, you will need to check your settings. Mouse and keyboard, if you scroll forward, you'll notice the little triangle in the middle of the screen goes up and down. You'll also notice, if I drop this here, you'll also notice there's a little red marker here, and there's a little grey marker here, in the middle of the screen. Red marker is dead stop, grey marker is full speed. Anything beyond the left side of the red marker is reverse, and obviously anything in front is forward. You are slowed when you're entering and leaving stations, so it's a little bit easier, but be wary. As soon as you get out of range of the station, you will shoot off in speed like that. And you'll notice we are a lot further away now. These ships are very agile. There are even more agile ships when you get later down the line, but they are pretty agile.
Docking granted.
Now there are options that you can have it where it will automatically lock to the plane of the world, basically everything, sorry, plane of the galaxy, whereas everything, you notice everything is on like a plane, some below the plane, some above the plane, but more often than not they're all generally in line with each other. You can see that there, that's kind of in line with this one here, it's just lowered down the plane. That setting may be default for you, and if you want to change that so you can free roll, for example I want a free roll like that, what it would do if you had it automatically set is it would then go like that for you. Useful if you're a new player, because obviously if you don't know what up is up and what's down is down, in space there is no up or down. However, in this game there is. It just makes it a little bit easier for you. So if you don't like that, then you can change that in the settings options. Obviously we go back to where our settings were before, and I believe it's in game settings. And you'll notice there we have auto roll off. I have aim assist on just because half the time I'm not doing combat, and sometimes I'm busy trying to do other things. I like to collect things on the way. I like to do, you could do click and do boarding actions and stuff like that. So I keep my aim assist on. It's useful to have if you're a new player. Boost toggle, that there is useful to have off, because it means when you boost, you're only boosting whilst you hold the key, and I'll go into that in a second. Whereas if you have it on, it'll keep the boost on until you press the button again, and you can burn all of your shields. Collision avoidance is also useful as well, because it will bounce you off things instead of bouncing into them. And maintain speed in menus is your preference, whether you want to continue whilst you're in the menu. This is not a menu, this is the settings, and it will pause the game for you. However, in menus the game sometimes does not pause, depending on what menu you're in. Everything else is personal, depends what you want to do. There are some adjustments. If you want to do enemy proximity alert, you'll get sounds like this. You can change it. They have other ones if you want to change them. Enemy target lock on. Same again. There we go. There we go, we'll have them. So, escape out of that and you're back into your game. Now, what did I mention about the boost? When you boost, you press the tab key. And you notice you go to maximum speed and you get a little jolt of speed. However, you'll notice there is a white bar here. And then there is a blue bar here in the middle of the screen. The blue bar is your shields, the white bar is your hull. Lose the white bar, you lose your ship. You'll notice that that blue bar moved then. If I press my tab key to boost again, you'll notice the shields get drained. However, you do an insane speed compared to what you normally do. So you can do 180 meters a second. Whereas if I aim myself here, maximum speed about 180. Hit the boost. And you're doing over 13,000, 14,000. Once the shields run out, so does the boost, but now you are vulnerable to take damage on the hull. So bear that in mind. So now you're out in the space, you can fly around, you can do whatever you want. You can even get up.
Docking aborted.
If you press Control D, it will drop you out of your seat and you can walk around. You can get out into space. If you press on here, click use spacesuit. I would recommend not doing that until you get used to doing spacewalking. It is horrendous. Okay. So that's the basics on how to get out and fly around and how to start the game. Everything else is down to you what you want to do. There are a lot of things that you can do in this game, as I've already mentioned. Will you start it? It's totally up to you. However, what I would recommend is 1. Get used to flying your ship first, and 2. Once you have flown your ship, press the M key. You're now in your menus. Look through all of your menus, get used to what all of them are showing you. There's very specific information. When you're done and ready, and you want to move on, then if you look here, you'll notice there are mission offers and mission managers. This is where missions will pop up. If there are no missions, like there currently is no missions, then if you press Shift and 2, you go to scan mode. If you go near a station, you will find there are little nodes on stations. Let's see if we can find one now. Oh, there you go. You can hear that sound. There's a little crackle sound. That will mean there is a node somewhere that you can contact and find missions from. You can also see them. They will be on visual. If you look around the station, keeping an eye out, they'll cackle like electricity leaking. You just move yourself around the station, looking around, keeping an ear out for anything that sounds like leaking signals. There's one right there. There we go. If you get close enough, you'll see it'll say decrypting data stream. This is now getting you a mission. Success data decrypting commission unlocked. Okay, so that wasn't a mission, that was a commission. So you go around the station and look for more of them. Well, they look like that, and one of them will give you a mission, and you can start off doing various things. Otherwise, I think I heard one over there. Otherwise, you are free to do whatever you want. If you want to get back into your station though and you want to get safe and have a chance to have a look at some stuff, all you need to do is go to this station here, or any station that has dock. Docks generally look like, where is it? Like this here. Somewhere where ships are flying in and out, obviously. Get close enough to a station.
Argon equipment dock.
Click on it with your mouse. Press Shift and D.
Docking granted.
And you get green lights. You can also press the Enter key, and you can have dock permission there as well. Bring yourself in, as before. As you get close, it will slow you down, like so. And you'll notice there is one that's highlighted and showing a green outline of your ship. That is where you want to dock. The green markers will direct you to it. Now, one final thing to tell you in this is that when you are starting off early, you have to dock your ships quite very tightly to what it's saying on the screen. Later down the line, you'll get auto docking computers. They make jobs a lot easier. However, we don't have that right now, so what we need to do is we need to align everything up. So you'll see you got the blue arrow in the middle. You also notice we've got all the crosshairs and all the alignments and everything like that. These all need to line up green before it will let you dock. So if we move forward, you'll notice that as I get closer to where I need to be, we have the red alignment there. That tells me I'm too high up. So if we drop it down, it will then take over that final little piece there. And we are now
successfully
docked. Automatically it'll bring up the screen for you.
Welcome.
You can choose to get up, undock. You can repair your ship, get your ship information, or you can get trades as well. I want to get up. I'm going to get out. And one final lesson is if you go into this section here, into your transporter room, you'll notice there are offices. Workshop is to improve your ship. Trader's Corner is to buy new ships. Security office sometimes have missions, as does the manager's office and the engineering section. Engineering and security also have hacking stuff that you can do in the game as well. As I said, whatever style of play you want to play, if you want to be a bit of a pirate, you can hack systems and have them drop cargo out into space that you can then steal and all sorts. But all of these will have some use. Manager's office especially will have useful things, as later down the line when you earn some credits, you're going to want to get some discounts and stuff like that.
Hello.
Talk to this person here, it will tell you where you can find. It'll also show you a live stream, which will show you where you are. Looks pretty. But it also gives you an idea of what the station is. Top right hand corner will tell you how to get in and out of that and various other things. So hopefully this has helped you how to get started on X4. If you've got any questions or comments, please leave them in the comment section below. Make sure you do check out my other videos. Make sure you check out the 6.0 guides. There are the 4.0 and the 5.0 guides, because some people do like to play the legacy versions of the game. However, 6.0 for new players is where you want to be at. And if you want to do anything specific, then check out the videos that I have specifically on there as well. Things to do with trading, mining, and stuff like that. However, if you do want more in-depth questions answered, then please feel free to join the Discord, where players do play on X4 and will hopefully be able to answer your question if I can't do either. But until next time, everybody, take care for now, and I shall see you all on the next one. Bye bye for now.